Assalamu alaikum, students. Today we are going to start the third page of our play, Waiting for Godot. Let's start it. Vladimir and Astadian, they are having conversation with each other, and it's a continuity when he points out the button. So Vladimir stooping, true, he buttons his fly. Never neglect the little things of life. So Vladimir, who has been philosophical, or who has been talking more, or who has been talking about past, who is not talking about present, not about physical things. So stoopingly he says, true, and never neglect the little things of life. He shows agreement with the immediate situation. And what he does, he buttons his fly. And then he turns it into a general remark about small actions. So that statement comes directly from what he is doing. And you will see that here he is fixing something that is minor, that is buttoning his fly. It's a minute thing, minute action, but he has resolved that problem. He has fixed it. Stajan, what do you expect? You always wait till the last moment? Now see the Stajan reply. Before that, we have observed in last two lectures that he has been giving very short replies, 1 or 2 words, and mostly replies a sentence are questions. But here we see that there is a complete statement, there is a complete sentence, and that sentence shows criticism. Now it is Astrajan's turn to criticize Vladimir's habit of delaying action. They are familiar with each other, and they are pointing out each other, and they are criticizing each other. Mostly in the last two lectures, we observed that Vladimir was criticizing more, but here we see that now Astrajan is also criticizing Vladimir, because they know each other. They know each other's habits. And this comment basically is connecting directly to Vladimir's fixing his clothing late. Means you are wearing trousers, and you have not buttoned your fly. Fly basically, that is zip of your pant or pants or your trousers. So he says, he criticizes him that you always keep on waiting and you delay even minute actions. And then Vladimir musingly, the last moment, and then you find ellipses here that shows pause, he mediates, hope deferred maketh the something sick. Who said that? Now he asks a question, and he is amused by Astrajan's reply. And if you see, Astrajan's phrase is taken by Vladimir, and he turns that phrase into a subject of reflection by showing how, or this way of answering shows how he shifts from simple talk to thinking. Now see, in the second sentence after the last moment, hope deferred maketh the something sick. Who said that? He asks a question, he shares a statement, someone's quotations, and then he asks, who said that? So Strajan is trying to recall a quotation, but he cannot complete it. It is not a complete quotation. It is a broken phrase that he shares with us. So that broken phrase shows incomplete memory within the moment. That memory is not complete. Another point, another important reference, another important relevant whenever we talk about theater of absurd or absurdity. So we'll find that the memory is not complete. It does not give us complete information. Astrajan, why don't you help me? Again, the question. Trademark of Astrajan. Astrajan talks in questions. He asks questions. So Astrajan is bringing the focus back to his physical problem. He's bringing him again to his problem. And see, whenever you have observed, whenever Vladimir starts reflecting some past, or he starts thinking in philosophical manner, uh, uh, Astrajan interrupts him. And how he interrupts him? He tries to shift the focus on his physical problem. That is the boot. That is causing him pain. Right? So you will find this pattern that Vladimir's thinking or Vladimir's philosophical or abstract thoughts are interrupted by Astrajan's change of focus to his physical problem. Then Vladimir says, sometimes I feel it coming all the same. You will see Vladimir is not giving importance to Astrajan, what Astrajan is saying. Rather, he continues what he is saying. Then I go all queer. He takes off his hat, peers inside it. Now you will see certain action performed by Vladimir that is taking off his hat, right? So then he feels about inside it, shakes that hat and puts it on again. How shall I say? Ask a question. Relieved and at the same time, then a pause. He searches for the word, then pause, appalled. Then you will find directions with emphasis, appalled. He takes off his hat again, peers inside it. See, repetition of action. You will find funny. Then in parentheses, you will find he knocks on the crown as though to dislodge a foreign body, peers into it again, puts it on again. Right? He's repeating the action. And we find ourselves confused at what he is doing. And he repeats the sentence, the phrase that with that sentence, our play starts. And that time, it's not Vladimir, it's Astrajan who says that. So nothing to be done. Astrajan, with a supreme effort, succeeds in pulling off his boot. He peers inside it, feels about inside it, turns it upside down, shakes it, looks on the ground to see if anything has fallen out, finds nothing, feels inside it again, staring slightly before him. And then he says, well, a question mark. So a long dialogue we can find. Let's break it out. So Vladimir says, sometimes I feel it coming all the same. Right? So, yes. So, just wait for a while. Let me have a glass of water. So, thanks for waiting. See, Astrajan interrupts, and then Vladimir starts his communication again. Sometimes I feel it coming. Then I go all queer. Here, Vladimir is describing a personal sensation. Though his personal sensation is not vivid, it is vague, it is not clear, it is blurred. So the meaning here, it is not clear, it is unclear, it's abstruse. But the meaning is tied to Vladimir's inner experience. Then you see he takes off his head and peers inside, all that. You will find that he is repeating this action. And now he is also doing certain action, and that action is mirroring Estragen's earlier behavior with the boot. He was involved in boot, and he is involved in the hat. Estragen also repeats the action, and he's also repeating the action. So the focus is on checking inside the hat. He's trying to find out something inside the hat, and as if something might be there. Then how shall I say till appalled? Vladimir is struggling to express a mixed feeling. He is showing certain mixed feelings. You can find pause, and the pause shows difficulty in choosing words. He is facing difficulty in selecting words. And then he emphasized appalled. So he puts stress on the word, and by stressing the word, he gives importance to the feeling he is describing there. Then you see he repeats examining the hat and then says funny. So he is treating this situation lightly, even though he's unable to find anything inside the hat. And then he says nothing to be done. So he gives his concluding remarks, or he concludes his action. He gives the final decision with the same phrase that is used by Estragen. And that phrase, nothing to be done, is directly tied to finding nothing in the hat. That he is unable to find what he is trying to. Right? So Estragen succeeds in pulling off his boot and examines it carefully, but finds nothing. You will find in the dialogue it's description of action done by Estragen, and we find that his effort finally succeeds. He succeeds in pulling off his boot. He's been successful now, but the result is empty. There's nothing inside it. In the shoe, even there is nothing. He peers inside it. He also does the same. Vladimir is looking inside the hat, and Estragen is looking inside the boot, and he's feeling about inside it. And he turns it ups and down. He shakes it, looks on the ground to see if anything has fallen out. He's expecting that something will be in his boot, but he finds nothing in the boot. So the same thing, nothing to be done, is expressed with the help of action. He is doing certain action and he finds nothing. Right? So then we move further. Then Vladimir's last word, one phrase, a question. Well, so Vladimir is expecting a result from Estragen's effort, what he has done, that he peers inside, then he turns it upside down, then he shakes it, then even he looks on the ground, but he finds nothing. Right? So he wants certain result, but no result comes. Estragen says only one word, that is, he says nothing. So Strajan confirms that his effort has produced no result. He has done a serious effort involving certain actions, but he accepts it that his uh, his effort has been a a complete failure. Right? Now, only one word said by Vladimir. Sure. He might not trust him, and Vladimir insists uh, insists Estragon to show the boot, and his insistence he is insisting on seeing for himself. There is a chance that he is not trusting Vladimir, sorry, Estragon. He wants to affirm it by seeing with his own eyes. Then Estragon answers, there's nothing to show. So Estragon repeats the idea that the effort has been abortive, the effort has been useless, the effort has not produced any positive results, right? So Vladimir says, try and put it on again. So now he insists, he suggests that uh, he has to do one more effort, and he has to go back to the original state. When he has to turn back to the original state, that he has to put the shoe on again, that he has to undo the effort, he has to repeat the action, the whole action. Then Estragon says, examining his foot, I'll air it for a bit. Estragon here delays putting the boot back on, and he focuses on his foot's condition. Right? He looks at it. He examines it. So Vladimir says, there's man all over for you, blaming on his boots the faults of his feet. He takes off his hat again. It's the next page, so we'll first let me explain this and then we'll move further. So Vladimir commands that basically in his command you will find generalization. He generalizes Astragon's action, and he says that people blame external things instead of themselves. He is criticizing Astragon that he is not blaming himself, rather he is blaming external things which have no which have nothing to do with the results. All right. So he takes off his hat. Then he says he take parentheses are there. He takes off his hat again. Peers inside it, feels about inside it, knocks on the crown, blows into it, puts it on again. He repeats his action, right? So this is getting alarming. Silence. Vladimir's deep in thought, Strajan pulling at his toes. One of the thieves was saved. It's a reasonable percentage. Pause. Go. So till this point, we will finish our lecture. Look at it. Vladimir is retrying, right? What he's doing with the hat. So he retries. He tries again. So you will find that when he when he generalizes Estragen's action and he blames him that he is not doing proper effort and he is blaming external things, then he does the same. He again examines his hat in the same way. And the repetition of this action basically shows no change in result. He also doesn't get anything inside the hat, right? So he says, this is getting alarming. Here he's very serious. He's reacting in a serious way. Even though nothing significant has happened, but he is serious. Then we find silence, Vladimir deep in thought, Strajan pulling at his toes. So one is thinking and the other one is doing certain action, right? So both characters are here occupied separately, but they are not interacting, right? Then one of the thieves was saved. Another reference, another reflection. Vladimir is returning to the earlier story and he picks up the same topic again. Where he stops, he picks the topic, he continues or resumes the topic from there. Then he takes pause. It's a reasonable percentage. Then he takes pause and then he says, go, go. So Vladimir is treating the idea numerically here. And he's reducing it to a simple calculation. Then he calls Strajan Gogo, and it's nickname of Strajan. So it also shows that they are close to each other, because when you have intimate relationship with each other, then you use certain nicknames. And by calling him directly, by calling Strajan Gogo directly, what he's doing, Vladimir is basically trying again to engage him. He's trying again to interact with him. He's trying again to resume the communication that is lost, that seems to be lost. If you see in this page, different themes, you'll find the major theme here, that is effort leading to no result. Both of them are doing certain different efforts. They are struggling, but they are not getting any positive result. If you see, Strajan is doing effort with boot and Vladimir is with hat, and both are trying to find out something. They're searching for something, but they find nothing. Both efforts are abortive. Uh, they don't get any result. Then you will find this theme in the whole play, that is repetition in action. You see, both are repeating their actions, especially Vladimir. Vladimir performs the action more than one time, 2 or 3 times. He checks his hat. And same thing you find that Strajan is dealing with his boot and foot. He's also doing it again and again. Then you will also find disconnection. Disconnection is, or detachment is, very important idea in absurd theater, that there is disconnection in interaction. And you find it is very obvious. Strajan is asking for help, but Vladimir is not listening to him, to his request. Rather, he remains focused on his own thoughts and actions. He is not taking any kind of interest in solving Strajan's problem. And we'll also find a shift from small actions to general statements. Vladimir turns simple situations into broader remarks. It's very simple that he's not, Estragon is not trying it again, but he generalizes that situation. And he says that Estragon is blaming Boot for faults of feet. He is not blaming himself, right? So do we do the same thing? We also do the same thing. That we don't take responsibility of our own actions. There is a chance that we are responsible for bringing pain or suffering to ourselves through our actions. Then you will also find certain techniques. Beckett uses parallel actions in very smart way. See here, two things, the boot and the hat. Both are being searched. So why he uses parallel actions? Because he wants to mirror each character's behavior. Right? Both are doing certain action, both are searching something, and both are unsuccessful. So it is mirroring, it is a balancing between both characters. Then we also find repetition as a technique, and we see that in both dialogues, nothing and then actions, you will find in dialogue and in actions, we'll find nothing. Checking inside objects multiple times, that is the action, right? And nothing to be done is repeated. Nothing is repeated. See, the word nothing is repeated. And same, action is also repeated. So dialogue is also repeated, and action is also repeated. That is the beauty of this technique, beauty of the writer style. Then we also find interrupted thought. Thought is being interrupted again and again, and he cannot complete the quotation. He uses certain quotation, but he's unable to complete it. Every time a sudden interruption. Then you will also find these two objects, hat and boot. They are symbolic. They symbolize certain things, but only within the scene's action. They are repeatedly examined, but remain empty. So they symbolize emptiness. Then we also use another technique, that is silence and pause. So silent and pause both separate actions and thoughts. And by doing this, they break the flow of interaction. Through silence and pause, Beckett breaks the flow of interaction. Right? He breaks it. Then if you see critical analysis, the whole page, if you read this, the whole page, the whole passage, you'll find that these dialogues present two characters, Vladimir and Estragon. They are engaged in similar actions, but they are not coordinating with each other. They're doing the same action, but coordination is lacking. They're not helping one another. Estragon is struggling with the boot, while Vladimir is focusing on his hat. Even when Estragon asks for help, Vladimir does not respond directly. It shows a lack of practical cooperation. They are not cooperating with each other. They're not helping each other. That is the dilemma of both. Then the repeated checking of the hat and boot leads to the same result. and that is nothing. This phrase, the word nothing is used again and again in this passage. So this lack of outcome is important because they are doing effort, the effort that is not producing any change, that is not bringing any change, that is producing the same result. They find nothing. Then Vladimir's tendency to turn simple actions into statements. He observes very simple action of no importance, but then what he does, he generalizes it. And when he says never neglect the little things and blaming on his boot, these both basically we find contrast with Estragen's focus on immediate physical experience. We find Vladimir as a thinker. Then the return to the two thieves, he gives the reference of two thieves almost at the end of this dialogue. That reference shows that Vladimir's thoughts circle back. He's thinking in circles. So circles, cyclical, that is again central element of absurd theater plays. So his thoughts circle back to earlier topics. His thoughts do not move forward. It goes back again and again. Then the silence and separate actions at the end reinforce that the two characters are physically together, but they are not fully engaged with each other. There is possibility that even emotionally they are not with each other. They are living together. They are existing side by side, but their physical existence is not playing important role in producing some sort of harmony in their emotions. They are emotionally detached, though they are together. So at the end, you will conclude that this part or this page or this dialogue shows repeated effort, but empty results. And we also find that interaction is very limited between both. Actions are performed carefully, but they lead nowhere. They don't produce any result. They don't bring any kind of change. And we also see that conversation shifts without development. There has been no development. The characters remain occupied with small tasks, and they have disconnected thoughts. Thoughts are random. They don't have coherence in their thoughts. So here our passage ends without resolution, without any progress. Okay? We find that nothing has been done, nothing is done. And when we say nothing to be done, so here we'll find a perfect example here. In the whole passage, we find that they don't find anything, though they are doing effort, but their effort is not producing any result. It's not producing or creating any development. Nothing is being developed here. So I hope you have understood it. If you have any questions, any queries, do ask. Do ask me. I'll try my best to answer it, and do your work with honesty. right? Because I feel that you people are not listening to the lecture with the full concentration. I hope you will follow my instructions. Thank you for watching.